Ladies and gentlemen, today I got the illustrious Sammy from the Push and the Pace podcast to come on and talk about AFCON 2025. My brother, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, bro. It's been a great day. I'm glad to be here and all. And yeah, the moment you told me the date, I was like, bet we're here. I
Let's
can't
get
I
into
can't wait
it.
to, can't wait to talk about AFCON,
So,
sir.
so Nigeria entered the 2025 African Cup of Nations with high expectations, blending experienced stars, emerging talents. The Super Eagles began strongly, topping Group C with incredible victories. My personal favorite being the 3-2 win over Tunisia and the 2-1 opening victory against Tanzania in the group stage. So, my first question for you: Nigeria always enters as a powerhouse. Did the Super Eagles perform like giants in 2025, or would the haters say just big names on paper?
I would say they definitely performed as giants. If you even had a sense of my discourse of the Super Eagles for so many years, you just be like, okay, I it's a surprise I'm giving that answer just because it has always been like the expectation as a Nigerian and expectation of Nigerian watching football is a certain level of football, like in terms of play style, excitement, and all. And for the past edition, I would say the last two, three editions, that has not been a team that's excited Nigerian fans. Like we win games and we go further in the competition. Like last AFCON, we went to the finals. But I'm sure you ask every Nigerian that watched our football, they would prefer this AFCON run than that last AFCON run because that was some bad, that was some horrible football we played and all, and we got to the finals with it and all. But that's when obviously your talent rises to the crop and you squeak out games and all. But in terms of a holistic, like just a whole tournament, this was genuinely one of the best teams I've watched since when we scored. Mikel won the AFCON against Cote d'Ivoire in 20, can't remember now the year. But so I remember Sunday Mba scored the only goal, which was 1-0 win and all. But that's been my favorite. This has been my favorite team, like in terms of the tournament, since that AFCON. And that's been a long time ago. That's been a long time ago compared to now. So I would just say we did show up as Eagles. We did show up and play well. We did dominate teams. Being the Super Eagles, I've been calling us Super Chickens for a while because there was nothing Eagles about us. But this tournament, we definitely showed up in terms of just the dominance as a Nigerian team. And despite not going to a final, I think like there's no way anyone who can say they were not satisfied with the run we had and all.
Definitely. Like, listen, I mean, I initially, my dream, my wish would have been for Morocco to win the AFCON. So beforehand, I said Morocco, Senegal. Once I saw how the brackets were set up, I said that would be the final because that's what I wanted, to win. And I saw that Senegal was probably the strongest team on that side. But then when, push came to shove, and I saw that we were going up against Nigeria, I was like, all right, realistically, it might be a Nigeria-Senegal final. And then when it got to penalties, I was like, anything can happen. Hamza Igman for us blows the PK. And I'm like, you know what, that's GG's. Nigeria got it. They're going to bounce on this and it's over. So even as an opposing fan, Nigeria, to me, is you always got to take them seriously. And I was like, we have to bury them in the 90 if it goes to penalties. They're more experienced. They've been here even within the last 20 years. Somebody
Yes.
there knows
I
something.
think the run we've been in the semifinals and finals like the last how
Last one
many
was like
AFCON?
2013. 2013,
Yeah,
definitely.
like
Yeah, so
we've always been late winners. So getting there isn't so much excitement, it's more okay, how did we get there? Right. And
yeah.
I think that's why this team would sit in Nigerian fans' hearts a good bit more than the past teams for a while. For a while.
So how would you describe Nigeria's football identity right now? Flair, physicality, discipline, or is it a bit of mix of a few things?
I honestly I don't think there's an answer to that question. I would say the reason why I would say there's no answer to that question is we've had there's the only way to gain some sort of identity as a team. We've had different iterations of our teams for a decade or 20 or 20 years and all, right? It's team with high attacking flair. We have we've had great defensive teams. I'm just going to talk recently. I'll say this, especially this squad of players. The reason why I can't give you any sort of play style is because, bro, we had three coaches in the World Cup qualifiers. That's absurd. You can't, like, I don't know which nations have three coaches within a World Cup qualifier.
And
He
your current
sacked
one right now is going around talking about how he wants to be Madrid's future coach. So
he also might not even last there because we might our association may not pay him.
yeah,
Let's not even talk about those guys. Let's not even talk about those guys. They keep embarrassing us every single time. But that's the thing, right? We've had so many different coaches. So especially with the fact that these are international players who are their club football and everything, they don't get to play as much games. They don't get to play with enough chemistry built in. You literally come to camp, you rest, you train for maybe 1 or 2 days. You're mostly watching film. You're not really building chemistry. And you go play against guys that some guys are new, some guys are old and all. So I'm sorry, there's really nothing I can say because the World Cup qualifiers, what was that football identity? We were not playing football. In the World Cup qualifier, we were not playing the sport. The sport was not being played by our players. In this AFCON, we were definitely expansive. We're definitely trying to attack teams using Lookman's ability to dribble the ball and everything. This is one of the most expansive Super Eagles team I've seen in a while. But again, that's a 6-game tournament, a 7-game tournament. I cannot say that's our identity. There's a certain amount of there's a certain range of run that you have to have. And that means by the same coaching staff staying, that means that by the same coach staying, because they would keep on reiterating the same messaging and the kind of stuff and refine whatever they want to do. But bro, with like 5 coaches in the last 6 years or something like that, there's no way you can gain any sort of identity. This team has no identity. The most recent identity was we're expansive, we're trying to take teams on and everything, scoring a lot of goals, but they need to show it for a long run for us to say, oh, this is the identity of the Nigerian national team. I know.
So you mentioned Lookman's performances. I think Osimhen, Lookman were fantastic, but my follow-up question is which Nigerian player truly elevated his legacy? For me, I think Iwobi had a phenomenal tournament.
My answer was Alex Iwobi. I think it was a stamp. It was a stamp on an awesome, I would say, last 40+ games of him being a Super Eagle player. He has had to carry. No one has had outside of Osimhen. No one has had to carry as much load in terms of what he has done, especially for a team that has lacked a midfield forever. A team that's lacked a midfield forever. He is the creative mind. He's the ball mover. He has to defend. He has to run off the ball. He's everything. And let me tell you, one of the tweets that kind of summarized this, someone said, for so long, Alex Iwobi would have been described as JJ Okocha's cousin. But now we can start saying, we can start saying JJ is Iwobi's uncle. Literally,
yeah, definitely.
For the first time, you could, and that's the thing. You come under that umbrella of a player. You have certain eyes on you, just automatically.
Yeah, there's already a standard that you have to hit.
Probably our greatest player ever. You are a relative of his, and I feel this AFCON literally just took him like, I am my own man. Mm-hmm. I have been playing awesome for this team for the longest. And I think this was just a brilliant tournament for him. One honorable shout out mention would be to Calvin Bassey. I wouldn't say it wasn't a legacy defining stuff, but it was more, I am the Super Eagles defender for the future. Like I have stamped myself in this team. So obviously he's going to have more AFCONs to write his legacy. But I think Alex Iwobi clearly said, I'm one of the best midfielders that have existed in this nation, and give me my flowers.
I mean, look, also personality, right? He was showing, those videos he was recording beforehand during the qualifications. He's not afraid to speak out when he feels like the FA isn't doing something well. I really appreciate somebody who's willing to take a stand. So to me, I think that's just a different level of as a human and as a footballer altogether.
And a leader too. Like he's one of the leaders of the team. He's one of the longest standing Super Eagle players. So yeah, like Iwobi has been brilliant, man. I'm surprised. Like the player we knew from Arsenal I never had an idea he would turn to this. But I had one of my friends that always told me, he was like, Iwobi's not a winger. He's not a winger. He's a midfielder. And until he would leave to Everton and start playing midfield and to Fulham, and you just see, this dude is...
His
This dude is
issue,
awesome.
his issue at Arsenal, and this is my opinion on it, and even in the beginning of his career post Arsenal, is he was just too raw and too versatile to his own fault, right? Because he could do that job doesn't mean that's the best job that he can carry out. You sometimes as a footballer, you kind of have to pigeonhole yourself a bit when you're younger. Because otherwise they're just gonna play you everywhere. Like I don't mean to compare him to Kamavinga or whatever, but Kamavinga right now that's his issue. He has no position, right? He just gets slot in whatever.
And I completely agree with you. It's not good. Like I think over time, there's been rare players that has been good for, but over time you start to realize that when you're young enough, you probably have you. When you're older, I believe it's when you stamp who you are as a player, it's easier to be of Philip Lam after playing right back for so long, then go to play midfield and we just being fine with that, right? Or a David Alaba who was a left back, but also played on CM Cam for Austria. But he is probably one of the most unique ones that existed. Like when he was young, he was just doing everything. But again, for Bayern, he was a left back.
Yeah.
And all, right? So when you're young, I completely agree. If you become that young player where, we use you here, we use you here, how are you able to gain a certain sample size? Even for a coaching staff, how are we meant to get a certain sample size of how good you are in a position? Because now your statistics is skewed. Exactly. You're playing center midfield, you're playing left center midfield. So there's the stats they have on you don't really give an idea of what you're best in because you're just being put around the field and everything. So I agree with you. Like as a young player, it's best to get that. Let's play this one spot for now.
We talked about it a little bit before about what Nigerians as a fan base, as a country, what they care about in terms of the performance. Are you guys playing football? We know African pressure or AFCON pressure is different. Do Nigerian fans demand dominance, or are they more realistic about the team's level?
We're not realistic about anything.
So it sounds like most fan bases. It sounds like most fan bases.
It sounds like most fan bases, but the idea for Nigerians, so football is a pastime, not to make this sociological and all, but there's a lot of ills within the country. There's a lot of ills within the country, a lot of poverty, a lot of issues, governmental, everything. People are looking for escapes. The Super Eagles are the most renowned sports team in Nigeria. It's not even close to any other team. Even
not to cut you off, but even I did a video before AFCON started where I talked about a few big countries in Africa and what their results are like historically over different tournaments. And Nigeria is the most successful African tournament if we were going by Olympics. If we were going by like Olympic rules, Nigeria gets so far in every single tournament and on such a consistent basis. That there's an argument to be made that yes, Egypt has 7 AFCONs, but historically Nigeria might be one of the best teams, if not the best team.
And it's because those players feel the pressure. They feel. Mikel has talked about it. Iwobi talks about it. Like they feel the pressure of showing up with it because the whole nation is looking at you as you are going to give us joy, excitement and give us that escape from all the ills that we experience as Nigerians within the country. So they're not realistic. Once you're on that field, you're wearing the Super Eagles thing, you have to show up irrespective of the way the players are treated, irrespective of the way that we have a terrible FA and all. And I've always said it like, hey, at some point we've had greats and all, and we've had amazing talented players, but at some point, the institutions that are running itself well will outlive the talented nations. Like it's just going to happen. And that's one of the things that have ailed Nigeria for so long. It's why we've not won as much as we could win, despite all these long runs, because there's certain infrastructure we don't have in place. So our fans don't think about that. Once you're on the field, hey, you are wearing number 10, Alex Iwobi, Lukman, all of you guys are. They'll be like, oh, you guys are earning this amount in your European team. You better show up. So there's no excuses for them, or they can't even compartmentalize it because, again, this 90 minutes is my escape. This person beside me, this 90 minutes is my escape. You better make me not go home sad and remember that I don't have food to eat, that I'm struggling to get a job, or I don't have a job, or you get what I'm trying to say. So it's very sociological in that sense and all. So we're not realistic. The expectation is win, and give us joy in the process. And that's literally literally that it is for the Nigerian Super Eagles.
So let's be honest. Who is Nigeria's biggest AFCON rival right now? Is it Ghana, Cameroon, Egypt, somebody else? Or is it in one of those cases where it's the team itself, where they're just fighting their own demons, and if they can click, they figure it out?
So I can tell you our rivals, then our enemies. Our enemies are the FA. Our Nigerian Football Association and Federation is literally holding back sports and also, holding back football in that country. So that's one. I don't want to talk about them now because I can spend the next 1 hour talking about them. But our rivals is always Ghana. And that's why my brothers. I love them so much. It's like this loving, hateful relationship. And it's just, we're looking forward to your downfall every single time. And it's just, and that's the thing, like, sometimes we don't even have to, the Ghana and Nigerian rivalries, sometimes we might not even be involved in what is going on, but we're there. We're going to be there to hate. We're there to hate and all. There's no, and I don't think we have like long stretches of like on-pitch rivalry in terms of, we've not had so many games against Ghana. Like, we've not had so many games. But I think it's just because of immigrants, Ghanaians moving to Nigeria, Nigerians going to Ghana. The reason why I like the rivalry with Ghana is like, it's loving. It's like we really, and because, man, one of my favorite World Cups was the Asamoah Gyan 2010 World Cup and everything. And I remember my mom crying because Ghana lost. Like, I remember my mom crying in that Uruguay game and all. It's like, because we see ourselves in each other. We see ourselves in each other and everything. And there's no, compared to certain relationships within Africa, there's really nothing, there's no form of hate in a way. There's really no form of hate, at least I know, except if I'm something I'm missing and all, because my history is limited and all. But there's really no form of hate. It's like this small brother you want to like, it's like you're bullying it and stuff, right? And the small brother is like getting older and they have a better society than Nigeria right now, right? So it's like, you get what I'm trying to say, right? So it's that kind of rivalry. On the field, the one team I've always said has been Tunisia. Like, Tunisia has beaten us a lot of times in my memory when I was younger and all, that I did not like them. Like, I did not like them for any reason and all. But I would say it has to be Ghana. It has to be Ghana. Just, culturally and soccer-wise.
So we will be, but Nigerians and Ghanaians will be playing against each other more often, because I was reading today, Patrice Motsepe, the CAF president, was announcing new formations or new, the word I'm looking for is escaping me, but basically new zones so it's going to be split into North Africa, West Africa, East, and then Central and South. So West African countries will be playing each other much more. Same with the North African countries. So now you'll actually, for the next probably 10, 15 years, it'll be a lot of head-to-heads and real on-the-pitch rivalries.
And real on the pitch, right? Because that's needed. I don't think we've not, as much as there's a rivalry, we've not had enough games against Ghana over and over and over again and all, compared to Egypt, compared to Tunisia, compared to Cameroon. Yes,
emotionally, what moment from Nigeria's AFCON 2025 campaign meant the most to you? It could be positive or negative.
We're so nostalgic, so I'm going to definitely use the one where Ndidi did the Kano celebration.
Yeah, that was nice.
That one. So for few context, my uncle had the cassette of our Olympic run, right? The cassette of our Olympic run and all. And he had that cassette, and that was like my first, like, almost like immersion into our legends, right? I was watching this in like 2006 or 2007 when I was younger, and I would play that disc over and over. So these players became something, they became gods in my head. Like, they became like this mythical figures. And indeed, just doing that to pretty much a reminder of Kano and stuff. And that scene was just like, it melted my heart so much, man. That was such a great, and again, it's like, it was 1-0. I believe that was the first goal or second goal of the game. I believe that was 1-0. And obviously the game is not won yet, but it felt like my day was made already and all. And I that was just awesome. That was awesome. I can't even express that. That was by far the top moment for me.
That's like, for me, I love hearing you say your uncle had it recorded. Like, my father recorded the whole entire 2004 AFCON a run of all the major teams. So on DVD, he has
Ooh,
all Egypt games, all Nigeria games, all Tunisia, Senegal, Cameroon,
that's
Morocco games.
incredible.
So it's one of those things where I'm like, when you're in the moment, you're like, this is something is happening here. So
Yes.
the
Yes.
celebration was great, but honestly, your uncle recording them, he's my goat. Listen,
I remember
if you
we,
beat Argentina, I would also record
we,
everything too.
we never used to have like Netflix, so it's not like those CDs. You just play them over and over. You don't have like, oh, we just go on Netflix and we go switch to the next thing. No, like that was like the one sports like cassette like disc I had, and I was just playing that over and over again. So you just fall in love with those guys and all, even though you're not born in their time and all, and that was just incredible. Let's go.
Rapid fire.
Yes, sir.
Couple of words or less. Usually, you're supposed to say 1, 2 words or less, but I'm a chill
Yeah.
guy, bro. Like, I know people like to talk. So controversial one: best Nigerian AFCON player ever.
For me, it's JJ. It's JJ Okocha. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know people will say Rashidi Yakini, but I'm going with JJ. Just I did not grow up in the Rashidi Yakini time and all, so I watched a lot of JJ's runs when I was younger. And bro, man, I tried to be like him on the field. I tried to do everything like him on the field. There were just too many amazing moments and all. And yeah, like JJ Okocha, 1000%.
Most intimidating African opponent.
Oh, easy. Cameroon. I used to have like perturbed fear. They gave me the fear Bayern gave teams when Bayern were in their prime, the Robin Ribery, that's Bayern team. Like Cameroon game. That team had Samuel Eto'o, Kameni, Riboto Song, Webo, then Jemba Jem. Like, and also they were the one team I thought could physically dominate us. You need to go see the pictures of those guys. Those guys were like technically great, but like
Man,
hinged, like
yeah, units.
hinged. And the Cameroon, and you as you're seeing, like Cameroon has always done the tight-fitted. Uruguay, Cameroon always had the tight-fitted. Like you need to see like a guy like Webo, someone like Eto. Like every time we faced Cameroon, bro, I had no confidence at all. We're coming out of that alive, man. They scared the living daylight of me. So Cameroon.
Nigerian AFCON kits. Right now you're wearing the 2020-2021. I have the
Yes.
same one. It's absolutely
Yes.
beautiful. It's
Yes,
just
sir.
it's a work of art. If somebody were to cut it up and just put it on the canvas, it would still look good.
Yes.
What is your favorite one?
I'm going to go 1996 home shirt. The 1996 home shirt. I have a picture. I have this in my closet. I should have brought it out. I have the 1996 thing, and I think that is my favorite. The 1996 home shirt is my favorite. I would say special shout out to the 1994 away shirt. The 1994 away shirt, whoever did that, incredible. Like just the patterns on that, to pull that off for a jersey is not typical. And I'll say 1996 home shirt, then honorable mention 1994 home away shirt.
As a kid, obviously, I feel like most African kids want their national team to be sponsored by Nike, right? Like Adidas too. Adidas is great, but like when you get a Puma or you get a Kappa or something like that, it doesn't feel the same, right?
Doesn't hit that way.
Yeah, but Nike takes great care of, I would say, the Nigerian national team more than any other national team that I can think of off the top of my head. Like they actually care. They put effort in. They put in work. So no matter what, I think as long as that partnership exists, you guys are always gonna have something.
I think
the one you're wearing right now is going to be a legend one in like 20 years.
I don't think there's any nation that's had better jerseys than us. Like, I genuinely, like, I'm just thinking back, like 2002 shirts too was great. The 2002 shirt was like this, like lime green, long sleeve, and white collared top. And I think it was collared too. Then we had the 2020 shirts, which I'm wearing right now and all. And I also have I think I have the away jersey for 2020 and 2021 too, and all, which is just green. And like I genuinely think outside of Benzia in Italy, who was having crazy jerseys, I think we as a nation, we've had some of the best jerseys I've ever seen.
Venzia was look, they were playing football, right? Like kudos to them, but they were focused on the fits. They were really focused on making sure they sell shirts, so they put effort.
They didn't care. They didn't care about 3 points. It was more like it's about swag here, man. It's about swag. It's about swag, man. But yeah, I love almost every Nigerian kid that has existed, man. But yeah, I'll say 1996 home shirt for me, number one.
One diaspora Nigeria player you could take.
Can I give you two?
You can give me two.
I'll give you. The reason why I'm giving you two is because one is on his way out, and one is still in his prime, pretty much. The first is David Alaba. Like that was,
and that one is your FA's fault, right?
That's our FA's fault. Every one of them is our FA's fault. Let's just put it that way. Every one of them is our FA's fault. David Alaba was one of my favorite players growing up. I'm left-footed. He's left-footed. I used to be so versatile when I was younger as a kid, right? Played in defense, played strike, and Alaba was like that guy for me where I was like, in every international team, wherever, if you're Germany, France, almost every international team always have a hole in their team in terms of they're not playing the possible best player there, but they have no choice than to play whatever player. For example, someone like Pavard or someone like that, right? Maybe Germany is the one team that probably had, like the best Germany team had like a full 11 that was like stacked. But even that Germany team started Mertesacker at center back, right? All international teams have a hole. And the reason why I love Alaba, and I'm saying Alaba would have had for Nigeria, is as iterations of your team come, different holes pop up. Alaba was the one guy for Austria that will play left back, CB, Cam, center midfield. So that kind of player being able to be like a 7/10 and 10/10 in left back is going to be perfect for a national team because we can plug and play you depending on the whole of this new squad that we have and all. So David Alaba was one of my favorite players, one of the best players I feel, and that we don't talk enough about, especially defenders. So that's it. Second is Eberichi Eze. I think Eze brings that flair that bless you. Eze brings that flair that just we see in Lookman, we see in Lookman a little bit in Iwobi and all. And I just think that kind of player is going to excite a lot of Nigerian fans and all. And in a position that we need, a creative position, we need that kind of midfielder because Iwobi is doing too much. Iwobi is doing too much as a player. So now you have Iwobi as CM, but you have Eze with Lookman and whoever is on the right attacking and all with Chukwueze and all. That's a tantalizing front three before Osimhen and all. So I'm like, Eze would be someone that I would have loved and because there's a particular hole he would fit perfectly in. I know.
Eze is the best footballer on Arsenal. I'm talking about pure footballing ability. Pure footballing ability.
I might not disagree with you on that. But a certain coach, let's not talk about that. A certain coach is a certain way.
You remember Sami Khedira, German 2014 World Cup winner, played for Madrid?
Yeah.
His little brother, Rami Khedira, is 32 years old, talking to the Tunisian FA because he never got a senior call-up to Germany. That's embarrassing. If you guys don't let Hannibal do whatever he wants, at least he cares. At least Hannibal cares. Hannibal could have pretended like he was going to be Guendouzi and play for France, right? Yes. But Hannibal was like, back to the French team. The funniest thing about the French team, obviously they lose. They put everybody on, right? When they lose, they the whole, like 9 players. Hugo Lloris doesn't get put on the cover when they lose. But when they win, it's Pavard, it's Rabiot, it's Griezmann. That's who they put on when they win.
Literally. No, man. But this is the worst thing. You guys don't come for the qualifiers. You don't come for the travels and all. Then now, the World Cup is here. We're going to show up. I'm so glad. I think the FA, the sports FA or sports commissioner in Ghana and all talked about it. He was like, the coach, one of them. And I remember watching the video. He was like, there's no place for that here. Like, no, like, he was like, if they want to be Ghanaian players, after the World Cup, join us. Fair. After the World Cup, join us. Fair join enough. Us for the qualifier. Join us. Join us and play these qualifiers. Join us and take all these travels. It's so freaking. It's one of the things that pisses me off. And you want to make a choice to be English, good. You want to make a choice to be Spanish, good. But stay on that side. When you receive what you're going to receive, not like I condone abuse or anything, but you're not them. You will never beat them. You will never beat them. And we saw it with Saka. We saw it with Rashford. We saw it with Sancho. The moment England fans would lose that against Italy, yes, and I went to watch the final and all. The moment they would lose, whose faces were on the newspaper? When you guys do well, they put Hurricane. When they do bad, they put your face. But brother, the world is gonna tell you you're not English at almost every single turn. But when you go on that side, I don't want you to come when you're 30 years old and you've not gotten the call up. Then now you want to play for Nigeria. Now you want to play for Ghana. No, please stay. Just stay there.
My brother Sammy, thank you so much
sir.
for coming on the show. It's been an
Thank
absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. Tell the people where they can find you.
So my Instagram is Sam Olufemi __. So Sam Olufemi OLUFEMI __. Then over there you're gonna see the link of my podcast with my guy Elias and all. And on my Instagram I also post some sport videos here and there and all, and I will keep on posting and everything. And yeah, man. I hope I do this another time. This was awesome.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure we're going to have tons of shit to talk about.
Thank you, everybody. Peace.